Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. In the previous episode, we saw how Swamy Hanuman had the darshan of Sitaamaa, and we actually saw the Siddhi Sarga there. As I told yesterday, reading that shloka or hearing to that sarga will always bring us good things in life. Now moving on, let us now look at the way Sitaamaa was described at that particular point of time. Tato malina samvitam राक्षसीभिः समावृताम् उपवासकृशां दीनां निःश्वसन्तीं पुनः पुनः ददर्श शुक्लपक्षादौ चन्द्ररेखामिवामलाम्. She was wearing clothes that were soiled, and she was in the middle of all the Rakshasi women. Since she was not eating, upavashakrusham, she became thin, deenam, and she was also doing a lot of sighs. Nishwasamtim punah punaha. Dadarsa sukla pakshadau chandrarekhamivaamalam. Now see, if he had to tell that Sitaamaa was really very thin, he could have used the saying about Krishna Paksha also, right? He could have compared her with the waning moon. Say, for example, the Ekadashi or Dwadashi of the waning moon also will show you only a small line. But why did Valmiki Maharshi go and speak about the Sukla Paksha or the waxing moon phase? That is because there is an indirect meaning here saying that she would again come back to her normalcy. She would again grow. She would again become like the Purna Chandra Nibhanana. So she would again become like the full moon. She would again regain all her strength. This is a testing phase and this will pass away. To say all this, Tadarisa Sukla Pakshado Chandra Rekhamivaamalam. Now, she is not wearing proper clothes. She is not eating food. But then what is she doing? She is constantly thinking about Sri Ramachandra. Again, this is another lakshana of anybody. See, if we consider Sitaamaa to be the Atma, because we have started off like that, right? That when Swamy Hanuman sees Sitaamaa, it's like Atma Sandarshana. Then what should be there in the Atma? What should one be thinking in the Atman? What should one be thinking inside? That's that I have come from Paramatma. I have to go back and merge. Again, you might say it's only one Atman across, but while doing, yes, that's very true that no, there are no two things, there is only one thing, Advaita. But then at the starting phase of sadhana, we see it as two. Even in puja, we see it as a Dvaita sthiti only, no? And finally, when we do the Mangalaharati and then when we do the Mantra Pushpa, that's where we say that both of them are one, right? Ajayamano Bahudha Vijayate, the one who needs not be born, has taken many forms, but then we all want to go back and merge with the original, right? We are all a part of that only. So that's the Advaita Sthiti. But then till we reach there in the Bhavana phase, we still see it as two. There is no difference in Tattva, but the difference might be seen up to some extent in the Bhavana. Again, now here Swamy Hanuman has seen Sitaamaa, but then while she is externally appearing to be in a very, very sad state, how is she internally? She is doing a lot of tapasya here. So what is happening with that tapasya? Manda prakyayamanena rupena ruchira prabham Vinadham dhumajalena sikhamiva vibhavasoh. Very, very important words. Vinadham dhumajalena shikhamiva vibhavasoh. So now see, imagine there is a stick and that caught fire some time ago, that had fire some time ago, or it's a big log of wood, it had some fire before some time. Now the fire is there internally, but then around it the ash has formed, so that you are not directly able to see the fire. If you take a fan and fan it slightly, a hand fan or something, and you fan it slightly, you will again be able to see the naked flames. But now it is the naked flame is not seen, the ash is covering it, right? But then if you go and touch, the hand will burn, right? But then when this ash is there, right, there will be some amount of smoke that would be coming out. Valmiki Maharshi is telling that there might be smoke around, but the fire is there inside. And at one point of time, the smoke will go away, right? And then the fire would come out. So Sitaamaa is the fire which is there, and Ravana is not able to see it because that's not right now burning heavily. But then the flame can come out at any point of time. That is one way of looking at it. At the same time, looking in another way for the same shloka is, whenever a sadhaka is doing a lot of sadhana, he would cover himself so that whatever is happening inside him is not known to the world. They'll try to mask it. But if you think that there is no fire, he's an ordinary person, I'll go, I'll play with him, play in the sense, in a very bad way, in a negative way. I'll try to usurp some stuff of him and all. The flame would come out, and that flame would burn you away. The Ravana is not knowing that there is a flame inside. Again, when a but then when a sadhaka is doing a lot of sadhana, some signs would still come out. He would not be able to mask everything. Some signs would still come out, and looking at those small signs, while normal people might not be able to catch it, yogis will be able to catch it, right? You see this, right? When someone who is doing a lot of mantra japa and all, when they go near a Mahatma, the Mahatma will quickly ask them, you are doing this mantra japa, right? Do this way, do this that way. They'll give suggestions. They'll show a lot of vatsalya towards that person. While the other people in the crowd, they might not even realize that this guy is a sadhaka, right? So this is what is again hidden in the layers of this one shloka. That's why Sundara Kanda is Sundara Kanda. It's the Bija Kanda. Every shloka gives you layers and layers of meanings. I'm trying to move as quickly as possible, but then these shlokas are really, really that wonderful. Now, Swamy Hanuman has looked at the sari that was worn by Sitaamaa, and now he has to confirm, right, whether she is the Sitaamaa or she's any other lady. He needs to still confirm, right? So that part is what Swamy Hanuman is doing. Hence, he is now observing the sari, and now looking at the sari, he realized that there were a bunch of jewels which were tied in a sari and thrown towards the Vanaras at the Rishyamukha Parvata, and that sari and this sari are one and the same. Hence, she is Sitaamaa. This is something Swamy Hanuman has realized again. Look at this beauty of his mind, the way he is thinking. And then he also sees a lot of aura, a lot of tejas that was coming out of this particular woman. And this aura was not there in any other woman in Lanka. Hence, she should again be Sitaamaa. Now, looking at Sitaamaa, now he is saying, Tam smrutimiva sandigdham buddhim nipatitamiva विहतामिव च श्रद्धाम आशाम प्रतिहतामिव सोपसर्गाम यथा सिद्धिम बुद्धिम सकलुषामिव अभूतैनापवादेना कीर्तिम निपतितामिव. This is a wonderful shloka again from Sundara Kanda that Valmiki Maharshi has given us. Again, such beautiful shloka, such shloka with great amount of depth. Now, what does this mean? Tam smrutimiva sandigdham. Superficial meaning here is, imagine someone has read a Smriti Shastra. It can be a Upanishad, or it can be a Manusmriti, or it can be a Parasara Smriti, or it can be Yagyavalka Smriti. Any Smriti Grantha which was written by a Rishi, you have read it, and after a lot of time you actually forgot it. Now, when you try hard, you are able to remember the verses, but then there is a doubt that is lingering in you and asking you whether this particular verse that you have just read now is correct or not. So there is a self-doubt. So when you have a self-doubt, you will not be able to read fast, you will not be able to recollect fast, right? So that self-doubt will actually become a big hurdle, or will actually reduce your knowledge. The strength of your knowledge will get reduced because of that. That is how Sitaamaa is. Tam smrti viva sandigdha means she has reduced in size like that. Buddhim nipatitamiva means again the self-doubt that is bringing you down. And then vihatamiva cha shraddham. You have dedication, sashraddha, sastrena, guruvakyena, satya buddhyavadharana, sashraddha vihita siddhi ya vastu upalabhite is the shloka. So what is shraddha? Means your belief in shastra, your belief in the words of your guru. Now imagine for some reason you have got a doubt and your shraddha has reduced. Vihitam vija shraddham. Asham pratihatamiva. You had a desire to get something and you thought, by doing this desire will get fulfilled. All of a sudden that desire disappeared into thin air. Asham pratihatamiva. Sopasargam yadha siddhim buddhim sakalushamiva. You are working towards a task and all of a sudden there was some vigna, some obstacle which is not letting you complete the task. Sopasargam yadha siddhim buddhim sakalushamiva. Your brain, your thought process has got polluted or got biased because of something. Abhutena pavadena kirtim nipatitamiva. You are really growing well in your office, you are really growing well in your life, you are really growing well as a person in the society. All of a sudden some baseless allegation has come on to you and you are suddenly down. Your reputation has taken a hit because of some baseless allegation. Now that is abhutena pavadena kirtim nipatitamiva, means here you see the state of a person in all these things, the completeness is missing, right? It has grown up to some extent and it is coming back. So you are only looking at half of it in all these things, right? Sitama is also like that. You will have to click, for example, some bad allegation has stained the reputation. You will have to work hard to finish the other half so that your reputation is back, right? You will have to work very, very hard to ensure that your reputation is back with you. So that is being told here. So you have forgotten a shastra that you have read, you will have to read it again to make it complete. Your mind got polluted with a bias, you will have to get rid of the bias so that your mind will work or your buddhi will work as it was before. So for all this you need it to go towards completion. So that's the point that is being told here, that Sita Ma is now looking like, because she is away from Sri Ramachandra, or in a way the senses have taken control on your conscience, and hence while your conscience still wants to go back to God, while it still wants to go back to Sri Ramachandra, to its Prabhu, you will have to take it there, or Sri Ramachandra should come here and bless so that it becomes full, it becomes happy. That's a very, very superficial way of looking at it. Now let us look at the inner meaning of the whole thing. Look at all the things that are told here. There are two in each of them. In one way it is see, there are some good things here. Smriti, Sampada, Shraddha, Asha, Siddhi, Buddhi. All these are good qualities. All these are Lakshmi Kala in a person. And now all of these are being hit by what? The smriti, your mind, your decision making strength, that is taken over by doubt. The wealth has decreased, the mind has got polluted, right? All these are on one hand you are seeing all the Lakshmi vibhutis, on the other hand you are seeing the things that are actually bringing them down. Now let us look at the Lakshmi vibhutis that are talked about here. Shraddha, Smriti and all, right? Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shraddha Rupena Samstha, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Samstha, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Sikti Rupena Samstha, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Smriti Rupena Samstha, Namastasyai, 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 Namo Namah. So on one way, you are seeing that it is the Paramatma, it is the mother goddess herself. On one way, it is a Jagannatha Swarupa in one way, and that Jagannatha Swarupa is there in you, but because there are other vasanas that have come inside you, like doubt, like pollution, like the weakness, the weakening of Shraddha, because these doshas have come inside you, because these avidya swarupas have come inside you, you are not able to see the complete grace of Jagannatha. Tasya sandidhe buddhi muhussitam nirikshatu amnayanama yogena vidyam prasidhilamiva. Again, this shloka, Swami Maharshi is saying, it is looking like the Veda Vidya whose aura has reduced. Now look at this. Is this the Varnana of a lady? No. This is the Varnana of a sadhaka discovering his own self, right? Now, that's why these are all not my original thoughts. All this is blessed by Sri Samvedam Shanmukh Sarmagaru. I heard his talks, and from where I got all this knowledge. So that's what I'm just presenting in front of you. I'm just like a carrier wave in front of you. But this is Srimad Ramayana. We ought to read Srimad Ramayana multiple times to understand these layers of meanings, these inner layers of meanings. That's when we really understand. Again, a number of times here, it is actually told that, Sita Ma is really thinking about Sri Ramachandra. She's only thinking about him. And here a very important sloka is told, Dukkhena Bhuvide Sitam Hanuman Analankritam Samskarena Yadhahinam Vachamarthantaram Gatam. If someone who doesn't have a proper samskara, but he's still telling a wonderful line, The original meaning of that line will go away when he's saying that wonderful line. Because of his samskara being very, very bad, the original meaning of the line will go away and we get some other different meaning for the same line. Right now, Sitama is like that, is what he's saying. And here, Sitama has put some ornaments, she has tied them to the trees, to the branches of the trees. Some she has already thrown down, but then she is still wearing a few ornaments, a few abharanas. Now, these are the abharanas which no woman should, any woman who follows Sanatana Dharma, she should not leave. What are the abharanas that she did not leave? The Shravanabharanas, which means the ones that are put to the ears. Nasabharana. Nasabharana is the nose ring. The nose ring is extremely important because when you do a puja, archana, and when you cook for God, you need to get some adhikara to cook. And they say when you have the nasabharana, that gives you one adhikara to actually go ahead and perform the Mahanivedana. Hence, when you look at a generation ago, almost every woman, when they were girls themselves, at that age itself, they used to get the nose ring done for them. It's a very, very huge Shubhaprada Abharana. It will actually give a lot of Shubha to the person who has got her nose ring done. So I'm not forcing this on anyone. I'm just telling you what the Shastra Vakya is. It's up to you if you want to really take it. But Sitama did not give up her Nasabharana, is what is written here. She did not again leave. One more thing, what did she did not leave? She did not remove her bangles. She did not remove the toe rings that she had. Mangala Sutra. सुकृतौ कर्णवेष्टौ च स्वद्रंष्टौ च सुसंस्थिता मणिविद्रुमचित्राणि हस्वेष्वाभरणानि च पीतं कनकपट्टाभां स्रस्तं तद्वसनं शुभम् उत्तरीयं नगासक्तं तदा दृष्टं प्लवङ्गमैः इदं चिरगृहीतत्वात् वसनं क्लिष्टवत्तरं तथापि नूनं तद्वर्णं तथा श्रीमध्यदे तरत्. So he also looked at the vastra and he realized that it is Sitama only. Now Hanuman, he now tries to compare Sitama and Sri Ramachandra. He does some Tattva Vichara also here, that with Sri Ramachandra's infinite grace, we would try to look in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani vasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, sarvam satkri sahasram rahaswam charanaravindarpanamastu. Swasti. Jai Shri Ram.